So in this live, we're gonna chat about the Chase Infinite Money Glitch. And I got wifey here with me. Allie, do you know about the Chase Infinite Money Glitch?
Yes, I can't believe how silly people are. I heard that the Chase Infinite Money glitch, these people are not going to be able to take out bank accounts, checkings
Mortgages,
or savings, credit cards. They're not going
mortgages.
to be able to rent. They're not going to be able to get utilities. They're not going to be able to buy cars with loans. Oh my gosh, I cannot even believe it.
Yeah. So this Chase Infinite Money Glitch, I had to get all the facts straight before I made a video about it, to read all these news articles about it, and it is absolutely crazy. They've been doing this Infinite Money Glitch like it's free money.
And in California, it's a year in jail, and in New York, it's 3 months in jail. So hopefully you weren't in California if you did it.
You just needed to do less than $1,000.
Oh
In
gosh.
California, I think it's if you do something and it's less than $1,000, you'd be fine. But it has been absolutely crazy how these people. Come on, hey,
I got her.
let's
You
go.
keep going. Becky, come on.
So this Chase Ultimate Money Glitch is absolutely bananas. When you think about
Right here.
the consequences of these people doing these money glitches, going to the ATM and just depositing fake checks. They even use their own accounts. Can you please shout out my name? Can you please shout out my name? Yeah, right. Look at this. Look at what the people are writing.
I can't see. Can you please shout me out? My name is. Don't say it.
I know.
Don't say it. You need a mod. You want me
So
to be your moderator?
Chawar's there.
Jawara, will you be a mod?
Yeah. Yeah. So did you guys see this infinite money glitch? Have you guys heard about how people went to Chase? Yeah, I'm super blessed. I'm super blessed that I got. They're telling me that I'm super blessed to have a person like you in my life.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. But you're right too.
So yeah, so this Chase Infinite Money glitch that I was just explaining, I just did a video on it. I still have the camera. Is absolutely crazy. Enjoy economics talks. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so we were talking about this Chase Money glitch that all these people committed wire fraud, and when you commit wire fraud, these people are now not allowed to have bank with any bank because these banks all chat with each other. And once you get convicted of wire fraud, they're not going to give you a house loan. They're not going to give you a car loan because you already defrauded them once. So why would they give you anything else? And one thing that's super crazy to me is like, if you defraud them, it needs to be so big that you can leave the United States, and people just don't get that. People are
I
like,
also
what?
heard that you're not allowed to work in retail if you did this, which I don't know if that's a myth. If anybody knows, let me know. But why would that be true? Maybe you can't handle credit cards or somebody else's money.
So, I don't know why that would be, but man, committing wire fraud is absolutely crazy. Just for
Rexy, come.
and they saw that online, so they basically went online and were like, "Hey, let's do this Chase fraud thing," and now they ruined their lives in the United States. It's time to look. If you did that, you need to look for places to move to. You got to move to another country now. You got to do a whole bunch of different areas where there's no Chase, because Chase is a local bank, so you can never ever bank with Chase again. And it's crazy what Wall Street Journal said, that they're going to investigate each and every one of these people. So it's like absolutely crazy. So what is going on with all you guys? Where are you guys at? Where are you guys from? Let's chat, have a conversation. Where are you guys from? And it's crazy that somebody found this out and put it online. Isn't it crazy that somebody found this ultimate money glitch and then put it online?
You mean check fraud? Let's
Yeah,
call it what it is.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm shocked somebody made a video with their face. Like, come on, you're making it too easy for the feds.
yeah, yeah. These are going to be indictments rolling. And see, there's like, as I just made this video, there's like two things you never want to do. You never want to defraud the federal government, and you never want to defraud like the banks.
I have a question. Why is it okay, or okay, let me rephrase. Why are people not getting prosecuted for snatch and grabs, like stealing from Walmart, running out with merchandise, but they're getting prosecuted for banking fraud?
Yeah, that's a real good one. Marco Polo, yo, what's up? Yeah, I don't know why that would be. I have no idea why they would say that one is a bigger issue than the other. I think they're both huge issues. But one of them is Like if it's less than $900, they're not going to prosecute you. But when it is like tens of thousands of dollars and you write a check to yourself for 50 grand and then just cash it all out, yeah, Trump will fix the economy. We will see. We will see. Because doing all these crazy things is gonna be bad, I'll tell you that. Right? Doing all these wire frauds
Yeah.
and it's like, who came up with doing wire frauds and then saying, and then like, hey, we did wire fraud, let's just
Haven't they ever seen Catch Me If You Can?
catch me if you
With
can.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, they might have, but yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And now these people just can't buy homes anymore. They can't buy houses. They're barred from any type of loans. And I think that there's clause.
They have to live a cash life now.
They need to live a cash life now. Do you think
They need to
houses
get
will keep
hired-
going up?
They need to get hired by somebody who's not going to do a background check and pay them cash.
Yeah.
Because they can't deposit money into a bank account.
Yeah, do you think houses will keep going up in value? It depends on the area. I think if you live in an area that has high economic output and there's a bunch of people in the economy, helping that area out, houses will keep going up. And if there's not that many, then you'd be good. But if you're living in an economic city that doesn't really have that much, then no, then prices will go down. Cars are too expensive now too. Yeah, cars are super expensive, and they can't sell them. That's why they discount them so much. So you can get a great deal coming up here if you're gonna want a car. So if you want a car, it's gonna be the time to buy here pretty soon. But I don't know when that is. You gotta watch car influencers. They really know when it is to buy. No one can move out of their parents' house and stay there. I seen a lot of people actually still living with their parents or moving back with their parents. And I made a video, I think it was like a day or two ago, where all these people were online saying that they just moved back with their parents because they can't live a comfortable life anymore. It's absolutely crazy. Really, really sad when you think about it, right? That you're in your 20s and 30s and you just can't really make it. It's like, it's sad. And I think a huge thing is college debt. People go into college to kind of think that they can have a better life, that they can do better. They get sold a dream. And then once reality starts kicking in and you know that you're not making that much, but you have this huge, huge loan, then it's absolutely crazy. I just saw that Harvard costs you like $500,000 now to get your degree. And if you take that $500,000 and invest it or buy some real estate, you have something. But with your degree, you might never use it, or it's not required. Most of the people are just working in terrible debt. Yeah. And it's like, if you look at what these people drive, it's like these people drive, and I have no hate to these people because they've been sold a dream. They've been sold the American dream. You got to buy a Mercedes, you got to buy a Beamer. And nobody driving a BMW is not the sign of wealth. If you're really wealthy, yeah, you can do it. But for most people, driving a Beamer is not a real sign of wealth. It's just eating away at your cash flow. And when you start thinking about how long you need to work for that BMW, how much of your life you're spending working for the BMW, it's horrible. My mom in her 70s, out of touch with the current financial times. My grandpa too. My mom doesn't know what stuff costs. There's so many people that just don't know what things cost anymore. It's absolutely nuts. When you look at how much people make and how much they're spending on useless stuff, it's crazy. They should only spend like 10% of what they're making on transportation. But no, they're spending a lot of money on transportation, and it's not good. It's not good. It's gonna really, really, really hurt. It's gonna really hurt. Having kids is now a status of wealth. Yeah, having kids is now a huge status of wealth. Because they gotta eat, you gotta buy them backpacks, and they don't want the Walmart backpacks. They want like the designer ones. Buy the book. Hey, I really appreciate it. Yeah, enjoy your channel. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So I've been on YouTube a long time and trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it's absolutely nuts when you think about how much things cost and what you get for
the price that you're actually paying. It's crazy. When you look at what all these prices that you're paying for, how much you actually got to work and put time into it, it just doesn't make sense. When you're looking at car payments, you're looking at all these, you're looking at flights, you're looking at everything, and and instead of looking at finances like dollar to dollar, you look at how much time of your working day. Like if you're a car mechanic and you see, I get paid, I need to do 70 oil changes to keep my car payment. Is it worth for you to do 70 oil changes to keep your car, or do you want to do 4 oil changes to keep your car because you cannot afford that nice car? So it's like you got to figure out how it is. Friends 80-year-old and out of touch with times. Yeah, a lot of boomers are out of touch with times. They don't know what stuff costs. They don't know, they don't know how hard it is now. And when they went to college, it's funny when I talk to boomers and I talk to older people, college was like a super hack. It was like you got into college and you were promised a good paying job afterwards. But now college is something, but it's not everything. Everything's overpriced: food, cars, housing, insurance. Yeah, insurance is the unknown certainty that will it's like a boomerang. It's gonna come and hit you like you've never seen before. If you live especially home insurance, if you live in a state in the South prone to hurricanes, oh my gosh, insurance is the unknown factor that can financially ruin you like you've never seen before. Because these insurance companies, they have money. And then with that money, they'll hire lawyers to sue you to not pay out. I see that people that invest in comic books, sneakers, and sport memorabilia, trading cards now all-time low. Pokemon cards lost a lot of their value. Yeah, because these were all luxury commodities. And Rolex watches used to go up in value. Now they're coming down. Yeah, because you need to see. So when rich people buy things and they do it for fun, then it goes up in value, supply and demand. But now nobody has money to spend on luxury items. It's like when you have all these great things and you buy Pokemon cards and you buy sneakers and you spend money on trading cards and all this stuff. Those are nice to have. Those are not musts, but everybody needs a roof over their head, or at least have food, right? A roof over the head, you can couch surf, you can live on a couch, you can do all these other things, but you need a roof over your head if you want to go to work, do things, and that costs money. And then you need food and you need transportation. And yeah, you can do without, but it's going to be really tough without. So you need shelter, you need food, and you need transportation. And yeah, you could do without a bunch of things, but yeah, those are like the necessities. And everything else, pokey cards, going out to eat, buying Rolex watches, all necessities. My house insurance, 1,800 a year, property tax 6,000. That's really good. You're paying above average, I think, on insurance. I would check with State Farm or somebody, shop around. And property taxes, yeah, there's nothing you can do with property taxes. I read an article about the decreased value of Rolex watches. Yeah, I know. I've been seeing it all over. I've been seeing it. The market's not strong. When you're looking at if you want to buy a Rolex watch, if you want to buy nice items, most of the time you can't do it because you just don't have the money. And when you're wealthy, this is what I learned from very wealthy people. When you're wealthy, you're not going to spend your money stupidly, or you wouldn't have gotten wealthy. And people know that if uncertain times come, they pull back. But a lot of people think like, it's going to be back of 2020, 2022 or something. And then they're going to be like, hey, I don't have to worry about it. I'll just hang out and be cool and do all that kind of stuff. But it's not going to happen. There's pullbacks in the market. There's uncertainty. And what do? You pull back luxury items. And so I wouldn't invest in any of that type of stuff. That's why I don't have fancy cars. When you look at mine, people said, oh, you try to be wealthy, you should get a nicer car. It's like, no, these are the cars that don't cost a lot. And that's why I have them. I could get a way nicer car, but then I'm heavily in debt, and then And then it's like keeping up with the Joneses. So I keep my little Ford, I keep my little Polestar. They're not expensive, and it's good enough. A lot of rich people investing in expensive wine bottles, high liquor, expensive whiskey. Yeah, but those are so when you invest in stuff like that, that's like a finite supply. When you buy expensive liquor, that's also something that when you buy it, you're like, hey, got this really nice bottle. And if there's only like two of them in the world, you know that it's not going to go down that much in value. It's almost like Bitcoin, where there's only so much in circulation, and you know that your wine bottle, your expensive wine bottle, if you age it correctly, nobody's gonna come and devalue it. It's always gonna kind of hold its value or at least go up. And yeah, expensive depends what kind of liquor. Expensive whiskey, yeah, depends. You got to define expensive, because when you talk to me, expensive might be something completely different to you. Like for me, liquor, if it's above $100, $200, it's expensive. But if you talk to somebody that I know, it's a good friend of mine who has millions. For him, expensive is $2,000, $3,000. So it all depends on what you define as expensive. And there's Rolex watches, the same thing. They're in all kind of categories. You can get a one out of the 1980s or the 1960s, and they're 3,000. Or you can get a new one that's like, seeing these TikTok traders, they're like 45,000, and it's like absolutely crazy. So you got to be aware of where in the market you're at and what you can afford, but don't go into debt in any of it. It's just not worth it, especially now where you don't know if you're going to have a job tomorrow. Because if you guys watched the video of that Tesla guy that just got like locked out of his of the office, and they just went into work one morning and the badge didn't work and they fired him. A lot of countries are buying gold right now from Switzerland. I bet you grew up owning gold as an investor. I do actually. I do own gold. Yeah. I show it to you. Actually, I only own a little bit. My family owns more, but I only have like a little bit of gold. I'll show it to you. This is how much gold I own. I don't own a lot because I don't think that much gold is gonna be worth it in the end, because there's just gonna be a new currency. But let me see where my little gold coin is. I got some. Can't even find it. It's in a money jar somewhere, or maybe it's in. Yeah, it's like $100 worth of gold. It's like I can't even find it. Yeah, I can't even find it. It's like $100 worth of gold, maybe 200. Yeah, it's not something to be really like proud of or something. It's just not. Owning gold and silver is like luxury. You gotta do it right. But no, can't even find it. But I don't own a lot. Let me see if I can still find it. I don't own a lot of gold and silver. It's just not worth it. Not worth it. Here we go. This is how much gold I own. This is it. It's more memorabilia. This is it. 5 grams. My dad actually gave me this. This is it. That's the maximum amount of gold I have. Not even worth a lot. These are all like luxury items. These are like, and you can't go anywhere with it. You gotta sell it, bring it to a pawn shop or sell it like that. And it's cool because my dad gave it to me, but there's more sentimental value to it than there's actually gold value. So I'd rather own, like, if you'd ask me if I'd own more dividend stocks than gold, I would probably say yeah, because those produce. And people love gold, and I have nothing wrong with that. But you gotta, if I can say this right, you gotta own and invest into what makes you sleep good at night. And if that is gold and silver, you should do it, because then if you can sleep good at night, then there's like one huge thing that's like taken off of your plate. And when you sleep good at night, you get less diseases and you get less heart problems and all that kind of other stuff. So sleeping good at night is like a huge factor. What other questions do you guys got? Yeah, no, I'm not a flexer. I don't, I just own it a little bit. That's it. I rather own, like, instead of like owning gold, dividend. There's like super cool dividend stocks that I'd rather get into, but I gotta finish my construction that I have. So I bought a property in Las Vegas like 3 months ago. I told you in some of the videos. Got to do constructions, and then somebody's going to live in it. We're going to rent it out or sell it. That's I feel like that's kind of more of a better move at the moment than just buying gold. Could be completely wrong though. So don't take anything I say at face value, because at the end of the day nobody knows. Everybody's an expert in something, but nobody knows for sure. I think investing in education, like learning how to fix a car, doing home improvements, you save money and can fix people's cars and homes. Yeah, 100%. If you buy a car and you can fix it yourself, and if you can like do home improvements, because those will save you money. If you can go and Google on how to clog, like have a clogged toilet or my faucet's dripping, and you start figuring out how to do that, then you're already like ahead of the game, because most people need to hire somebody to do it, and then you increase your expenses. But if you know how to do it, then watch on YouTube. Home Depot's super cheap, they're everywhere, and you can do that. So that's going to bring you closer to being a homeowner. But you don't need to be a homeowner. You can just rent and just be happy just as much as you can be with owning a home. Because as Jawar said up there, if he's still around, property taxes, insurance, stuff breaks all the time with homes. When you own a home, you need to pay like 1% of maintenance of the home's cost every year. So it's absolutely crazy how much you got to spend on keeping it up. People don't tell you that. People say, "Oh, you should get a home," and then you got to trim the lawn, you got to pay into the HOA fees, then they evoke HOA rules. You got to do all that. Then you got to keep the facade up. You got to, your house needs painting, you need to repaint. Then you got to put in new windows because the windows broke, or it's a bunch of headaches when you think about it like that. But it can also give you like sense of security and all that kind of stuff. But even as homeowner, the costs rise. So if you're telling me, someone tells me, you have a fixed, your mortgage is fixed, and that's pretty much the only thing that's fixed. Everything else just keeps going up. So the plumbers keep going up. The water bill to water the plants keeps going up that you need to do. HOAs keep going up. Property insurance keeps going up. If I'm gonna pay my home off early, no, I'm not. I have a 2.9% interest rate. So I flipped my first house into this one that I had, and I lived in a trailer park beforehand. So no, I'm not gonna pay this one off. So when I look at the cost benefit, I have a 2.9% interest rate. So I'm not gonna pay it off early, because it doesn't make financial sense, because the market is paying 4.5% on just a CD. So why would I pay it off early when I can make money on my money? And that was the same thing I was telling people. You can take out a car loan in the low percentage if you can make more money in the market. But now with freaking 22% car loans, you can make money. You cannot make more money in the market than paying off your car. So if you can make more money in the market than or anywhere else with like $1,000 or $50,000, and you're getting greater return at 25%, yeah, then take out a car loan. But if you make less money uh, on that, then you got to pay for the car in cash, or just put a huge down deposit on, because it's just not worth it. So I'm not going to pay off my house early. It's just not worth it. If I'd have like a 6-7%, I would consider it. But then everything else is so high, and then if you have a car loan, so it's like if you want to do it, you can. But I'm just like, why worry? It's like it's just something to do to make you sleep better at night. It's like if you think you're gonna run out and you want to sleep better at night, do it. Can you answer the above question? What question? I think investing in education, like learning, which one? Can you answer the question? I have interest in your opinion. Buy the book. Let's see which one. I can read an article. Yeah, can you post it again? I don't see it. I don't see the question you have. Every so price. Yeah, post your question again. Buy the book. Yeah, can you answer post the question again so I can see it? I don't know where it is. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna do anything like that. But hey, a bunch of things is lifestyle dependent. So you gotta figure out what your lifestyle needs are, and if you have, depending on your lifestyle, I would just tweak that. And one thing, do you listen to Dave Ramsey? No, I don't listen to Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey got in big trouble with a lot of debt, and he could try to grow too big. So no, I do agree on emergency fund. That's pretty much the only thing that I agree on. I use a credit card. I don't have a problem with credit cards. I don't have a problem with credit cards. I'm glad that people have credit cards to keep their lights on. If people imagine the United States without having credit cards, and these people that are living now can't pay their utilities. How crazy of a world, how sad of a world would we be in now when all these people cannot put stuff on credit cards? How crazy. And I get what he's saying about it, but yeah. I get why he's saying like don't get out of debt and put 15-year. But I did a video on Dave Ramsey and I said, in a 15-year mortgage, you can't spend 25% of your paycheck. You'll buy nothing. You buy a condo, you buy a studio apartment. It's not worth it. You rather buy something that's nice that you can live in. USA Happiness Index, debt 36 trillion, cost of living, cost of survival crisis, yeah, extreme poverty, unemployment, underemployment, freelance, corporations, mental issue, homeless, guns. Yeah, yeah. It's. I feel like in the United States you can really make it big, but you have to sacrifice. And a lot of people haven't. When you go to college, they don't teach you the right tools to make it. They'll give you the tools, but then you need to go out and find mentors and know where you want to. And you need to have like self-awareness and then back engineer where you're trying to go and then try to make it. Are doom spending and just spending all their money to live for all the day. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people just either don't care or just don't have or just don't want to progress. And I've met when I was in flight school in Orlando, I met this one woman that was the cleaner for the building, and I've asked her, what do you do? Like where do you try to go? Where have you traveled to and seen stuff? And she's like, oh, I've never been out of St. Augustine. And it's like a little town out of Florida. And she's like, I've only been 10 miles up St. Augustine and 10 miles down south. And that's my area and I don't leave it. And I was like, okay, And for me, I feel like we're so like trimmed to like, oh, we got to be with family. We got to do this. My opinion is you should move to where they pay you the most amount of money and move across the country. And if you got to move a few times for your job, just do it. And then, yeah, because people say, oh, I have family. Well, your family's not going to help you out with paying your bills and, getting your career going. So move wherever. When you're young, do it. When you're 40 and your 50s and you have kids, stop it. But once you have the opportunities, move around. You're the only channel that doesn't slam credit cards. Yeah, I don't have, I use them. Why would I slam a product that is used by everybody? It's like, I think they have their place. And imagine a world where if all these people that said, oh, don't use it, and we're looking at the credit card debt. And I truly, truly, truly believe that most of this credit card debt is just groceries and lights and water and utilities, and not that they go out and buy crazy stuff like ATVs and put it on credit cards, because you can't put these on credit cards. So it's like maybe going to the car mechanic and getting new tires, because you're going to crash your car if you don't do it. And if you don't have good tires on your car, then you're going to wreck, and then you have no car because you didn't have comprehensive collision. So no, I don't fault credit cards. I think there's a time and a place for it, and I think people should use them as they're intended. Because let's think about all these people that have no credit cards. You can't, and Dave Ramsey, I could buy the apartment building. Great, then go do it. But most people can't buy the apartment building, so it doesn't matter. Most jobs requires bachelor's degree, but preferably want a master's. Yeah, and if you want to get a bachelor's or a master's, there's free training. So this is how I told the other day, God is in control. Yeah. And most people say requires bachelor's degree and want master's, but there's so many places where you can get free training. So so you work there, like not free training, free college. It's not the best college, but it's not paid for. I buy the book. I posted the question again, and I just don't see it. I don't know. Can anybody else read the question that by the book said? The master's degree is tricky because you need to. So this is how I do it. So when I went to UCF. I looked at where's the cheapest way to transfer my credits. Where's the cheapest way of me doing how I can do it? Because at the end of the day, unless you go to an Ivy League school where they're like really, really where you get into like a circle where you can be in it. Like when you go to Harvard, it's I don't know people that went to Harvard and graduated top of their class and then they network, right, with other people that are from Harvard and they kind of get a job. But I wouldn't go to Harvard. I wouldn't move there and then be like in Harvard and network with these people. I would just go to Harvard for the Harvard name, so it wouldn't be worth it. You've got to then embrace and do these activities and meet all these people. So then when you leave Harvard, you have the Harvard the Harvard network behind you. And I didn't do that. I was like, when I did it, when I went to college, I went to classes, I tried to network, but you're so young. I was so young, I didn't know what networking was. And I kind of figured that out like later on. So it was like hard to figure out what I was gonna, how networking even looked, how you provide value first. And that's what I'm trying to teach on YouTube, kind of like network and do outreach and provide value, and before you subtract it and get out of it. Buy the book, post a question. I don't see the question, but you can email it me in the about section, and I have my emails open. So you can just email it to me and I will answer it if it's not too crazy and it doesn't get me striked. So yeah, I have my emails open, so just email it to me. But yeah, connections matter more than degree, 100%. If you can get people to, and you know what is even better than connections is when you're good at sales, when you're good at the art of persuasion, when you can, there's just some people in the world that can talk smooth and they have like charisma, they have character. When you talk to them, be like, whoa, now that's an amazing person. And if you can do that in an interview or in networking, you just automatically want to get hired because these people are like, oh my gosh, this person's amazing. And then they're like, we need to hire him, we need to hire him. Then they change the job description for you. They do things for you that wouldn't even be possible. But you need to have the sales tactic. How do you feel about immigration in this country right now? Like what? Like legal immigration, like illegal immigration, people coming across the border? So what do you mean about immigration? Like I think legal immigration is one of the best ways how to subtract to get value from another country because so let's say you went to school, illegal immigration, hard topic, right? It's illegal, right? That's why it's called illegal immigration. So what's your question? How do I feel? How do I feel about it? Like I I see how these people are struggling, and like my heart goes out to them, but they should do it the legal way. They should really do the right way, just how I did. I had to do the paperwork, I had to do all the filings to get here legally. And sometimes for me, I feel like it's kind of unfair because I did it legally. I wasn't born and raised here. I did all the paperwork, I went to the interviews, and I did it all. And people can do it. It's just way harder. And yeah, I don't. I it's not that I can put it on a like that I could say like, hey, put it on a put everybody into one bucket and then put a name on it. It doesn't really work like that because everybody has their unique story, their traumas, and then you gotta kind of figure out how do you cope with that. But illegal immigration is a huge problem even in Europe. It's just like and and illegal immigration is also a huge factor for economics, right? What do you think of joining professional organization, volunteering your time for network opportunities? I love it. I love it. If you can find some organizations, that's why some churches are so good, and that's why the Mormon church is like huge because they give jobs to each other. If you're a plumber, like, hey, this is Billy, he's a plumber, use him. And then you keep the money in your circles or in your community. And that's what I'm trying to preach. Keep the money in your community. And if you want to volunteer at the shelter, church, wherever you want to go, synagogue, who cares? Just volunteer your time and get to know people and try to provide value first and then subtract it later on. And you'll see, you'll get amazing benefits out of it if you do it the right way. But it took me very long. So when you're gonna try to, get a professional network going, it's gonna take you some time. It took me time to figure it out, and I've had missteps, and I've relationships that fell apart because of it, because I thought it provided way more value than I did, and all these other things. So you gotta figure out what works for you, and then try to provide value and be giving, be kind, and then once the time comes and you need it, you can rely on your network. But going into it and then just trying to be like, I need this, it's like, nah, you're like this little chihuahua that tries to hump my leg all the time. No, get off. And then you ruin relationships. And when you push stuff too much on people, like, I need help, I need help, I need this, I need that, then they might help you the first time, but then it's like, I'm just not gonna pick up the call, or I'm not gonna respond to the text. But when you're like, hey, I see you have a flat tire. I own a tire shop. Just swing it by and we see if we can patch it. And, just don't worry about it. And then, once that guy's like, hey, I see you need some new marketing stuff. Let's chat together and I'll give you some free marketing advice or something like it. And then you got this cool thing going, the most beautiful thing going, where you help each other out. And it's really beautiful, because in business, you'll notice that relationships are really, really key. And you notice that most people are in different fields that can really help you out. And it doesn't always need to be money wise, where you exchange money. You can just exchange knowledge. And sometimes that's really worth it. And sometimes you need money, if it's too much of work for you, or you have labor cost and you charge money. And it's like, it's all about how to, what works for you. But yeah, there's like a lot of things that you can do. And I haven't seen an email from Buy the Book yet, so I haven't seen you send me an email about what you want me to talk about, because I cannot see your question. I don't know if YouTube blocked it or anything else. But what do you think? Yeah, it's really interesting, really interesting. Like, when I look at Americans as a whole, we're so diversified. We have so many different skills, and sometimes we're so shallow and be like, "What do you do for work?" And I'm trying to, in my personal life, be like, "Hey, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do in your free time? What are your kids like? From which country?" I am Switzerland. Grew up in Switzerland. I moved to the United States like 10 years ago. Lived in Florida, Orlando, Cape Coral. Then I moved to California, and now live in Nevada, Las Vegas, and I absolutely love it. Where do you guys live? So yeah, and it's crazy. Seen a lot, done a lot, and so I'm just trying to lived in France, lived in Switzerland, worked in Switzerland, worked in the United States. So I'm just trying to showcase you guys some different opportunities, different ways of doing it, and hopefully I positively inspire you guys. And I'm not bashing anybody, just trying to keep it positive. There's too much like hate out there, and people say, oh, doom and gloom. It's like, no, we're just in really, really bad times. Good times will come though. I'm pretty sure that once interest rates come down a little bit and people are like, we need to increase it, it's like, no, we don't do manufacturing anymore. We are all supported by design in America, and not much else. We're not doing. Should the government refund the people that paid off their student loans? If student debt forgiveness is implemented moving forward, should any students have to pay for college? I had this conversation with Ali the other day, and I think that if the government pays off your student loans, they should make a roster of which college paid, they paid off. So let's say University of Central Florida had, I don't know, 200 applications, and College of Columbia had 2 of them. Then they should say, UCF, you cannot take out, or your students are not allowed to take out federal loans anymore, because you are not capable of teaching these students enough value to make it in the marketplace, so we'll forgive them, but you do not have it. And I would actually make the college pay it back. Humans are not made to work in the office. It's just simple. As you can see, it has created a lot of issues. Yeah. How did you immigrate? I So how I immigrated to the United States was I went here on a student visa. I worked in Switzerland as an AC contractor. Then I was like, I kind of got burned out. So then I lived in France, learned France. I was going to do insurance stuff in France. Then I was like, I don't know if that's it. So then I went to flight school in Florida, and I really liked the Florida lifestyle. So I changed my visa to a student visa, went to college, and then I got a scholarship at MSU. And then I've met Ali before I took up that scholarship. I was in scholarship talks about that, and then I met my wife, and I'm so happily married. I'm so happily love her so much. So I would just move wherever she wants to, and I feel like she's my soulmate. So I ended up here. So my plan was after the United States, I was gonna go to Australia because I have an uncle in Australia. So I was gonna see how Australia is. But now I live in the United States with my wife, and I absolutely love it. I think all people should speak the same language. We cater to Spanish people and make it easy for them to never learn. Yeah, yeah, Do you have a family here other than your wife? No, no, no family. Nope, 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 no family. Just her. She's my family now. I have people now in my life that are more than family. I have friends that are so much more than family that I would do so much for. That I've met and that are like such amazing human beings that I've traveled a lot. I've traveled to Thailand. I've traveled to all over Europe, and I've never met more amazing people than Americans. What are your thoughts on the job market in 2024? Do you think someone should do if they're unemployed with a degree in 2024? What do you think someone should do if they're unemployed with a degree? Tell me a little bit more about that MMI tech. Tell me a little bit more about that. What your situation is. If you are right now looking and you do not have a degree, if you have your degree, is the tax rate in Switzerland higher than the USA? It's progressive, so it's nah. If you don't make any money in Switzerland, you don't have to pay taxes. But if you make more money, then you have to pay more taxes. So it's like progressive, similar to here. You also pay state and federal, similar. I think most taxes are most European countries have similar tax brackets. Besides Germany, taxes in Germany are like crazy. Um, what I would do if I'd have a degree, yeah. It's easier to become wealthy here than the European Union. Yeah, in the United States, yeah, because here you can, yeah, in Europe, people don't want to share their knowledge. In Europe, people don't want to tell you or help you out because once you're off the clock, then they're like, don't bother me about work. Don't bother me about work. But here, people are willing to, after hours, like help you, teach you, and give you advice and become a mentor. And in Europe, then they're like, don't bother me with this. Don't bother me with this after hours. And then they so once I was working as an air conditioner installer, and I had a team. I had like a team of 6 people. And I was looking at this guy doing wrap. So when there's condensation lines that are sweating, you wrap it in, I don't know what you call it in English, but you wrap it with like some foam. And I watched how he did it, and I was like, man, how long have you been doing this, and how do you do it? And he's like, do you want to take my job? I'm not giving out any advice. Leave. I was like, whoa, sure, hostile. So that's it. That's kind of the mentality. Honestly, are there even enough jobs for everyone? I think there are. I think there's enough jobs. I just don't think right now is a really good time with high interest rates for people to get them. And this market goes in cycles. Sometimes there is no answers. Yeah, don't give up, Marco Polo. Shoot me an email. Marco Polo, shoot me an email. See if I can help you out. Do you have a job? I heard the job market is bad. No, I'm self-employed. I'm self-employed. I have a few businesses that I run, and they're doing pretty decent. But I also had to do layoffs. It was very tough. I had to do layoffs. Had to lay off my virtual assistant that helped me out on a daily. So yeah, everybody had to do it. Nevada's low tax rate. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I used to come out here and I hated it. And then once I like moved here because I wanted to move to Florida, but I just the storms got so bad, and I wanted to move back to where my family had a house in Cape Coral, and couldn't do it. And now I'm glad I didn't, because something told me I should do it. You know, like the ideas of it was like, oh gosh, it'd be great, but then reality is like, no. Nevada has low. So then I moved to Las Vegas, and I'm so thankful, and I'm so glad I live in Nevada now in Las Vegas. I love it. I love the West Coast. Wouldn't move back to the East Coast. Nevada's a low tax rate. Yeah, good. I bet you don't miss California, high taxes, high prices. No, I don't miss the California state. I do miss the California people, though. California people are some of the nicest and super cool people I've ever met. And the yeah, so I lived in the Bay Area, I lived in Santa Cruz, and I love the California people. You have skills, no worries. Me, skills. Yeah, we talk about that. Skills, man, I've owned businesses. I owned a frozen yogurt store that went out of business, so I don't know what kind of skills, but I had some really big missteps. So just trying to make it, document the process. So just because you have skills doesn't mean that you get paid for your skills. It's like luck. You do. But if I'd have, let me go back to this questions. Let me go back to this question. If you're in the job market and you get your degree in 2024, what shall you do? So you should go and find internships, and then you should really, really like hustle, trying to get into your job as soon as possible. And if I'd just start off right now, I would search in the whole United States. I wouldn't care if I moved to Kansas with nowheres, or Montana in the middle of nowhere and have a job. I would just take a job in my field for 1 or 2 years just to get my foot in the door. And I wouldn't care where I'd moved. I'd say, I'm sorry, I got to do it. Because your career can make you so much money down the road that you can move back in a few years and just do it. But there's opportunities, and people just don't want to do it. I heard crime rate is high in the U.S. How do you feel? Oh, I think crime rate is uh, proper. Crime rate is I. It's a hard one, because there's like pockets of crimes that really drive it all up for people. So yeah, I don't think it's more than any other country. It's just that here it's more politicized, and the news is just crazy. I know in Switzerland they're not even sometimes allowed to talk about it. I wish high school can teach people how to do social media marketing, YouTube, TikTok, how to use business and become self-employed. Yeah, Marco Polo, it's not. So see, the problem is that they have curriculums in these schools, and they tell you of like mx equals yx plus b or something like it, like Pythagoras and all these crazy crazy things, and they certainly have their place in the world, but they gotta. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my honey's online. Gosh, did I tell you that I love you? Did I tell you that I love you so much? I can't believe you don't like the casinos out there. You stay away because you lose money. I don't like losing money. That's why. But yeah, that's my wife, by the way. Amazing human being. Probably the most amazing human being I've ever met in my whole life. So yeah, that's what I tell. Like, if you can find a great life partner, you're set. That's what I say. Money's just a tool. Money's just a tool. Money just buys you things. But if you have a good life partner, and you do like, you truly truly love her, and I'd move with her to wherever. And money doesn't matter. Money at the end of the day doesn't matter, because a person that you truly truly like love, and provide you like shelter, safety, then you'll be fine. You'd always have somebody to tell your story, to tell how your day was. Poor people have had hard times dating. Yeah, I know it is. But see, even if you're poor, yeah, I was poor. I was a broke college student when I met her. I just don't think that you can betray people and look at that. You kind of can't. Nowadays with social media, where all these women or these guys are like, I drive Lambos, I drive Lambos. This is not a curriculum. This is not what we should tell people. Like, hey, this is what you should look for. You should look for good-hearted kindness, and you should and you look for other traits. You look at how does she treat other people, like how does she treat, how does my partner treat a waiter, how does she do all that. Yeah, I took her kick. Yeah, chicken curry, and I feel like that's the most crucial business decision you can do. Find a good partner. Yeah, yeah. It's not about materialism. Always look at their true nature and character. Yeah, and it's so hard when I tell people. It's like, oh, and then they always tell me it's because you have it. It's like I didn't always have it, and I'm like, it's sometimes when you have it, you like, oh, I was just as happy with Ali sleeping in a trailer park than I am now. I'm just as happy. Just having her. I've been married now for 7 years. Yeah, so it's like people say, "Oh, you don't need to be happy to have all this because if you're happy, this is what somebody told me. If you're happy because you have a Lambo, then when you meet Elon Musk once, you're going to be super unhappy because this guy has rockets. So you can't compare it. So you just got to find somebody that truly truly likes you. If you have talent, YouTube creator is a good job. Make some money. Yeah, make a lot of money. Yeah, $15, $10 to $15 a video. It's really nice money. Yeah, so don't compare your life. Try to find somebody that truly truly admires you, that just cherishes the grounds that walks on you. Don't look at looks. Don't look at money. That's not what life's all about, in my opinion, at least. If that's what you want to do, then you'd always have. You're very blessed to have a soulmate. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you gotta. Billionaires control the world. Yeah, yeah, they do. They have a lot of things, but see, so if you look at Jeff Bezos and he lays on the beach and he has a sore throat, how much money do you think he would spend on getting rid of that sore throat? So health is wealth. You're young, or I assume, and you can find somebody that truly loves him. Some guys have no choice. I feel like dating is such a crucial part, and I'd rather have people in school tell you, yeah, 43, see, you're still younger than Jeff Bezos, so you're wealthy in his eyes. You're wealthy in his eyes. He would give up his Amazon. How old is Jeff Bezos? Let me look. I think he would trade with you. Yeah, 60. He'd trade with you. He'd trade with you in a heartbeat. He'd trade with you in a heartbeat. And you could be with him with 60. He'd trade with you. So yeah, it's not about the money. It's not. It's really not. And that's what I'm trying to tell in my YouTube videos. I feel like if you guys make like 95% of smart decisions, like financially, that's what I'm trying to tell on my YouTube channel. You don't need to make all the right decisions all the time. You can go out and splurge and take out some credit card debt here and there. But if you keep on track for 95% of the time, you'll be all right. I'm in a great shape. I work out and maintain a good weight. No smoking and drinking. Yeah, your health is wealth. Yep, you're ahead of the game, buddy. You're ahead of the game. So my wifey wants to watch a movie with me. So I am excited about that because I love spending time with her. So I'm gonna end this live, and I wish you guys the best of luck. If you want, shoot me an email. It's in about section of my profile. Love your videos here now. They're wonderful. Glad you put the content you do, despite not making it's coming. You can't buy a good hobby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I appreciate you guys. I wish you guys the best of luck, and I love you guys. And hopefully you guys have a good night wherever you at. I'll see you guys.